The Russians have now deployed potentially nuclear-tipped Zircon hypersonic missiles on the frigate Admiral Gorshkov in the North Atlantic. In the North Atlantic, it could strike Europe, it could strike America easily with hypersonic, very fast nuclear missiles. These missiles are so fast they go 6,900 miles per hour, and if launched off the coast of America, they could cover 100 miles in just a minute. And they're talking about putting these things like right next to Washington, D.C., basically in the international waters. Is only 12 miles out, but 12 and a half miles out, and they're in international waters. And they can cover, in less than a minute, 100 miles. They can cover 570 miles, 575 miles in just 5 minutes. Guys, this is a huge threat. It could, guys, our guys on the East Coast have no time to prepare. You know, if Joe B is up in his bedroom, he don't even have time to wake up and clear his throat. He's got less than a minute. How 5 minutes even? If he had that long, how would he get to his basement? How would he get to his bunkers? How would he get to his war room? Or General Mark Milley Vanilli, how would he get into his war room? How would these guys deploy themselves just to take action, just to respond? Their pants would be down if these things hit the ground, because it would come in so fast. That's the problem with these hypersonic missiles, is they're fast. I have talked about this in the past. I warned you about this 3 years ago, this very deployment of these missiles on a video. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But these missiles are out there now. They have been deployed. Why? Why are these in the North Atlantic? Why is Dmitry Medvedev, calling for putting them right off the coast of Washington, D.C., which they very well may be there or hidden there, because they are in the area of danger. Why is this happening now, my friends? Are we risking a nuclear first strike by Russia? I've talked about this in the past. I've talked about he who strikes first wins, especially if it's Russia. And I know all you guys, oh, we got our ICBM, we got our nuclear submarines out there. They'll take care of it. No, they won't. I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain why you cannot rely on that as your deterrent, given the threat posture of a super EMP weapon attack and other things that could be and would be deployed in such a war. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to go into this. But first, I'm going to show you some stuff. I'm going to show you this Admiral Gorshkov. I'm going to show you my videos on this stuff. So just hang on your pants, guys. Grab on, because this is going to get fast and furious. So I'm going to do a screen share, and we're going to come over here. There it is. This is the missile frigate, the Admiral Gorshkov. The Admiral Gorshkov can carry 16 nuclear-tipped Zircon missiles. This boat right here is in the North Atlantic. And guys, look at this guy. This guy's actually went around the world in the past. And it can carry quite a range of weapons on board, even though it's a frigate. It's not a gigantic ship, but what it carries, it makes it maneuverable, makes it hideable. So this thing, being able to carry this many missiles is quite the threat. Armaments. If you come down here, look, it can carry the Caliber missile, which this one is one that we were concerned about in the past. I'll show you some stuff on this Caliber missile in a little bit. I've got stuff that shows the range of what would happen with a Caliber missile. This is not your hypersonic missile, though, but it is quite deadly. And there's charts that depict the use of that missile. The Zircon missile, oh yeah, this is worse than this. And I got a chart on the range of this missile to show you. But this missile is much faster. We're going to talk about this, guys. Hang on. I'm going to have to move this down. Bing, bing, bing. And here is the video where I warned about this very thing 3 years ago. Putin ponders first strike. And you can see the Russian map here and the potential of submarines off base here. And guys, yeah, they got this Zircon's also submarine launchable. It is surface ship launchable. We don't know what might be out there in submarines. So bear this in mind, guys. Bear this in mind. Here's some old videos I did. I did this one right here. Why Russia to launch nukes. Why a first strike would be in their advantage. And then I did this one with, this is the last interview I did with Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, talking about why we were on the brink with Russia. And he was talking about how Russia could actually pull off a first strike against the United States. I've talked about that myself in the past, prior to this and after this. So, and we will go into more depth on that in a moment. But let's just kind of click through these real quick. Got to fight the Zoom. out, unfortunately. So let's go up here. Here we go. Jerusalem Post. Russia's production and use of hypersonic missiles, the Zircon. Yeah. Currently in maritime version. Yeah, this thing has just got fielded, guys. This missile went operational on the 4th. Today is the 6th. In some areas, it's already the 7th. It's a Mach 9 missile. It says 1,000-kilometer range. I'll show you exactly what that is again. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev threatened the United States of America with this missile. And he claimed this is a quote from the main gift of the new year was the arsenal of Zircon missiles that went yesterday to the shores of NATO countries. This is Medvedev. And he also called for putting this thing off the shore of Washington, D.C. In other articles that I've seen. I'm going to show you every article I read. Jerusalem Post there. Oh, yeah, we're going to show you also an article from TASS. This is, I guess, the voice of American News, VOA. You're telling us that, oh, yeah, this is the pride of the Russian Navy. Yeah, the Admiral Gorshkov. And talking about how this went through the test and trials. Yes, this missile can go 1,100 to 265 kilometers per hour for you in a metric system, or 6,900 miles per hour, according to the stats on the missile. Guys, if you haven't considered it prepping right now, you need to do it. You need to really think about it. Get it while the getting's good, while there's still a getting in the hood. And guess what? This special deal right here really tops them all. A 4-week supply of emergency food, 2,000 calories today. This is over 2,000. The competitors, you'll be lucky to get 800. Guys, and this comes in these 2 rugged buckets. You see me in many videos throwing these buckets around. I have to show you that again. These buckets are lightweight, easy to store, rugged, and useful after you consume your food for many reasons. But for a full month supply of food that lasts 25 years for $177, don't tell me that's too expensive. But if you can't handle it, go get your beans and rice, guys. Go do it. All right, let's move on. So prepwithgreg.com, prepwithgreg.com. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of other prep and supplies here, too. All you got to do is click My Patriot Supply from prepwithgreg.com, and it takes you a whole plethora of survival items, emergency food, other kind of food, water filtration, sales, survival coffee. If you're like me, you got to have it. Seeds, air purification, just many odds and ends. All right, we're going to skip that, Bean. So let's go on. And they also have this other submarine that's at sea that was supposed to have been decommissioned. The submarine is supposed to have been decommissioned. They said they were going to decommission it. It was bye-bye, but now it is in the ocean. And this missile carries up to 20 nuclear-tipped missiles. And these are MIRV missiles that can carry up to 10 warheads, 6 to 10 warheads each. That's a potential of 200 targets from this supposed to have been decommissioned submarine. Oh, yeah, they have other submarines there. But why did they stop and not? They got 2 new classes of submarines out. They have a whole new class of submarines out. So why do they keep this in the fleet? And why is this at sea right now? At least that's what I'm hearing, guys. According to sources I'm seeing, this submarine is part of the old Bovla class. It's still at sea. It's there with all these missiles. Yeah, it's carrying these Bovla submarine launched ballistic missiles, guys. These are not a joke. I mean, hey, let's just look at it, guys. Here's this missile, guys. This guy here, as I said, would carry 6 to 9 warheads, or 6 to 10, excuse me, 6 to 10 warheads, and the 100 to 150 kiloton range. That's 10 times more powerful than what took out Hiroshima, basically. More powerful. It really do a city in or a target in. Now here is the caliber target range I was showing you guys earlier for the caliber missiles. Well, the Zircon's going to be a lot faster to be a bigger threat, guys. But this is what you would worry about from there. And this includes a lot of the important naval targets, naval station targets, and others, like the submarine base at Kings Bay. Yeah, we'll go back to that again. We'll show you some more on that in a moment. We'll show you another target list. Bing. Here is the Zircon. And unlike the Kinzel, which they've been firing in, which is their hypersonic, supposedly hypersonic missile they've been firing into Ukraine, the Kinzel is nothing like this missile. The Kinzel is really just a hyper boosted hypersonic glide vehicle. This vehicle, the Zircon, is an air-breathing, scramjet-powered, true hypersonic missile. This guy is, see, they've already filled it, sir, way ahead of us in this technology category. We've just got through testing hypersonic missiles with scramjets. Well, the Russians have fielded the Zircon. And the Zircon is a bad boy. This is their new weapon, guys. And it's way beyond the Kinzel, which I'll show you. Is this the Kinzel? No, it's more the Zircon. Okay. The Zircon here, guys, this has got the scramjet engine. It's got warhead weight of 880 pounds, up to 880 pounds. And yeah, this can carry quite a warhead, a nuclear warhead, up to 200 kilotons nuclear warhead, guys. And yeah, it's got a range of 540 nautical miles or more if it's launched from higher up, like from an airplane or something like that, where it's got more glide. It's got more glide, but this thing is self-powered. It should have glide. So this thing is quite a beast. Submarine and surface ship launched, and we know that now on the Admiral Gorshkov surface ship, the frigate, which is in the North Atlantic. So these missiles have been developed and they are deployed, they are operational, and they present a clear and present danger. Anyway, let's go beyond here. This is the Russian Strategic Rocket Forces. You can find this stuff on Wikipedia. Just look them up. Look up Zircon, look up the Strategic Rocket Forces, and you can go here and read all about this stuff. And here is the organizations in it. What's interesting here, I'm going to show you this missile right here. Some people are talking about, well, the Russians don't have any missiles. All their silos are rusty. Well, this is a mobile launcher. This missile, the RS-24 Yars missile, is on a mobile launcher, but they've been putting these in silos recently. This just made news. They just stuck a bunch of these missiles in silos. Oh yeah, by the way, here is the Russian Nuclear Forces map. That's where they put these guys. They got them everywhere, but the mobile ones can be anywhere. So much for that, guys. And here's the intercontinental ballistic missiles. All we've got is one missile. We got our Minuteman. Well, we also got our submarine launch missiles. Okay. But guys, Russia's got a lot of things in service, in service, in service, in service, in service, in service. Yeah. Well, let's look at some more of this stuff. Yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Yars ICBMs loaded into silos in central Russia. See, this is a 13 December article. Here says 14 December. There's a time zone. Oh, yeah, this comes from the Russians. This is a test. Something, Greg, how come you only look at this many or that many? I come look at this stuff. Yeah, this is coming straight to you guys from the Russians themselves. Okay. Now, some of you don't believe and trust the Russians. Okay, whatever. We do know that they were putting us in silos, and we do know they just rolled out this brand new RS-28 Cermat Satan II missile, which they can actually fire over the South Pole. They can fire all around the Earth and come at us and sneak these attack in from the Gulf of Mexico over the South Pole, where our radars are not looking. They could totally sneak attack us with this missile. And this thing is said to be able to carry 10 to 15 MIRV warheads. I think that's in addition to decoys, or it can carry some unspecified number of this hypersonic vehicle, the Avangard. So yeah, they've got all kinds of new weapons. The Avangard, they got the Skyfall, they've got the Poseidon nuclear torpedo on the Belgrade submarine, which the Belgrade is now at sea. The Poseidon, maybe it's through its test, guys. And another thing, Russia, this is why I've said Russia might go first, is one, they've got a whole lot of anti-ballistic missiles, and I can find two of them right here, right off. That's the intercontinental ballistic missile. This is one of their this S-300VM. This is an anti-ballistic missile. Come back here. This one I clicked on. Yeah, this S-500. That's also an anti-ballistic missile. Russians have many anti-ballistic missiles. We've got ground-based interceptor. We've got Aegis. But we don't have near as much as they've got. Now, to paint a picture fairly, or crystal, what do they call it? What's that? I messed over. Yeah, there it is, the Kinzhal. This Kinzhal hypersonic missile that they've been firing into Ukraine is really an air-launched version of the Iskander missile, which is a theater-based short-range, but atom bomb capable, nuclear capable battlefield nuclear missile. It's a short-range ballistic missile. This thing can carry nukes. They've not been launching them with nukes into Ukraine, but it is nuke capable. So they've been using these Iskanders and the Kinzhals, and the Iskander is kin to the Kinzhal. Okay, ha ha ha. Targets. What would they strike? Let me back off for a minute. Let's just talk for a second. What am I talking about? Well, you know, Greg, this is all nonsense. Never happened. What I'm talking about is this. How would Russia do a first strike on the United States? Well, they would EMP us. They would hit us with those EMP super weapons, one of which, properly placed over, say, Omaha or North Kansas, could take out our entire electrical grid nationwide and take down a lot of our command and control structures, because it's been published in Congressional Record in 2008 that these weapons are capable of putting out 200,000 volts per meter on our grid, on our communications lines. That is huge. The old standard for hardening military facilities was 50,000 volts per meter, which was a quarter of the power of these EMP super weapons. They got 4 times the power of our old hardening standard to harden ourselves against such a thing. So these EMP super weapons are maximized for producing gamma rays, which strip the electrons free in the atmosphere that causes the EMP pulse, the E1 wave, the E1 wave, the E2 wave. E2 is kind of like lightning. And then you get an E3 wave, which is a longer wave component that comes in through the ground and comes back up and gets your systems. Oh, yeah. You didn't know about that one, did you? And that may be the most destructive one coming out of an EMP. That's also the wave that gets you from a CME. And little bitty cheap boxes that are just, you know, lightning arresters sold by some companies ain't going to cut it, my friends. So, yeah, they're supposed to shunt things to the ground. They ain't got no defense from something coming from the ground. And yeah, I don't even want to go into that, guys. All right, so I'm going to show you what you need to do to prepare. But so here's what would happen. You would have a multi-pronged, multifaceted attack. This is what Dr. Pry always talked about. You would have EMP, cyber attack, and direct ballistic attacks, the kinetic attacks, like what's been going on at our substations, but more like the one that occurred at the Metcalf station. You have professional teams go in and attack our critical components. Oh, yeah. Isn't it coincidental and highly dubious to wonder, why is it that the Chinese have been buying lots of property right next to a lot of our critical military bases? Oh, nothing to worry about, right? Oh, there's nothing to worry about. That's just, oh, they want a new pig farm. Yeah. But they always like to put their pig farms or whatever it is right next to a lot of our critical military bases. They bought a lot of properties like that. Guys, makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. You know, the Chinese and Russians are kind of in bed with each other in some of these operations, potentially. They might take advantage of something going down, and they just might all act at once, because it gives them Taiwan if they knock us out. I mean, an EMP could bring the United States to its knees, but it wouldn't just be EMP, it'd be cyber attack, EMP, and the direct kinetic attacks, all 3. And, oh yeah, anti-satellite weapons. Between all these systems, they would be trying to prevent us from launching ICBMs or submarine launch-based ballistic missiles from our submarine fleet deployed at sea. Because the submarines cannot launch unless they get an EAM, which we've covered in the video. A lot of EAMs, but they got to get a validated EAM that says launch. If the grids are fried, if the communications are fried, see, those things actually require a lot of things. They require communications networks. It requires computer networks to get that EAM out there. It requires satellite networks. So there's hacking, there's anti-satellite weapons, and super EMPs. Oh, yeah, and China's been practicing their simulations, at least, of detonating the EMPs up in space, higher up, to take out satellites, in addition to direct anti-satellite weapons. It's a cleaner way. Don't throw a lot of orbital debris in space. Just fry the electronics. So there's a lot of things that's been practiced between Russia and China for taking out our means of taking out, not being able to use our submarines. And should we still be able to launch all our submarines? What I just showed you was that Russia has a very robust anti-ballistic missile system to try to take these out should they come in. And should that fail, Russia also has been training extensively on the use of their underground bunkers. Now, they had an exercise, about a year ago, in which they put the entire city of Moscow in bunkers, basically. We never did anything like that here. So Russia, Vladimir Putin has said himself that Russia could fight and win a nuclear war. He said it several times. He came out recently, so nobody can win a nuclear war. But, we've got this mantra: nuclear wars must not be fought because nuclear wars can't be won. That's a mantra you hear from our State Department a lot. I think he said that, but he said the other many more times. He probably just said it playing lip service to make our guys relax. The Art of War, Sun Tzu. Make your enemy relax. How are you doing, my friend? Sit down. Can I get you a drink? You want something to eat? Stab them in the back. Since they relax, that's the art of war. So you don't tell people what you're going to do necessarily, even though you got Medvedev out barking, making threats. And again, it could be the good cop, bad cop. This all could be bluster. It all could be a bluff. Let's hope it's just a bluff. But it may not be. It may not be. Let's go look at some other stuff here. So that would be it. They would, here's what, let me finish this. So they would take out our command and control and our grid through EMPs, through satellite attacks, through cyber attacks, direct kinetic attacks on substations and communication stations too, and maybe even military bases. I mean, guys, what protects our military bases? Oh, just a chain link fence and some deputy dogs at the gate. There is no troops deployed or on a periphery of a military base. The troops aren't even permitted to carry a weapon on base, Army base, an Air Force base, and you can't even carry a weapon. I'm not kidding you. Unless you are a part of the law enforcement there. Maybe you're on the gate. I kid you not. You see, this is why the Taliban kicked our rear ends in Afghanistan. They just went right into the bases and took whatever they wanted. Once they got mad enough at us to kick us out, they just stormed the bases and grabbed everything. And our guys ran with their tails tucked between their legs. We didn't have foxholes and trenches in those bases, just like the bases here, just chicken wire almost. Anyway, chain link fences to be more precise. That's what you find on all the bases in the United States. Yeah, I could see the drug gangs coming out, the cartels coming out of Mexico and coming in. I could see sleeper cells attacking different places. Yeah, we could have an ugly situation. All right, I don't want to belabor this too much, but guys, here's what would happen. The Russians would go full force into our intercontinental ballistic missile sites. They would go in full force to attack our submarine bases. Anything that we could launch back would be hit and hit real fast. Just as soon as they were MPing us, that other stuff would be on its way. It would already be coming. So as soon as they launch that Zircon, lights go out. You didn't even get any news about it. You won't even know about it unless you're close to some of the target areas, or you're going to know your lights are out. Transformer must have blew, right? That's what you'll think probably initially. Or a squirrel got in a substation. But it'd be much worse, much, much worse. So let's go back here and look at this stuff here. Oh yeah, by the way, so they would probably take out all these things. And then if there was anybody left to be in charge of the United States, they'd call them up, say, okay, we've taken that all the teeth out of your hound dog. You can't bite us. You can't do nothing. And now we're about to start taking cities unless you surrender. This may be the way they also keep them like the submarine ballistic missiles. Unless you surrender now, it's New York in 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes later, it's going to be Los Angeles. It'll be Seattle, Portland. I'll just start naming cities. And if they don't hear back, cities start popping. Poof, poof, maybe. So Dr. Pry always thought that that's what they do. They hit all of our strategic forces and then go for the cities on a blackmail basis. For somebody to blackmail, they might not worry about it. So being in a city is the worst place to be. Immediately being near one of these key military bases will be. I'm going to show you those. But, guys, you don't want to be in a city because the city aren't going to have, they don't have no utilities, no water, no nothing. Sewer won't work. You can't drink. You can't eat. Oh, it's going to be a food desert full of hungry cannibals. Yeah, you don't want to be in a city. If you're in a city, get out. If you're close to a city, that's going to be the worst place to be. If you're within a tank of gas drive from a city, look out, guys. Just look out. That's all I got to say. They're going to be pouring out of the cities. All right, let's go back to the share again. Here we are. This will be the primary targets, primary initial targets. The Minot, Maelstrom, Warren Air Force bases. This is where our missile forces are. They'll be hitting. Also, we've got Minot's also got B-52s. We've got bombers there. They'll be hitting submarine bases like Kings Bay. They'll be hitting other air bases. Kirkland, Barksdale. Oh yeah, the Pentagon, National Pentagon, NORAD, absolutely NORAD. Yeah, Strategic Missile Integration Complex. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure Fort Greely, Alaska, where we got our ABM sites at. But then our ABMs aren't nuclear missiles. They're only defensive missiles. And by the time they fire all this stuff, that's gone. But they might hit this with a bomber. They might drop a Zircon into Fort Greely from a air launch from a Bear bomber out here. So that might happen, guys. All right. Here's another image of some targets. This shows a lot more. What it shows is they were like carpet nuke, or these bases right here where we got our Minuteman missiles and our SAC bases, guys. It just, if you're anywhere downwind of these areas, forget about it, guys. There's going to be a whole lot of radiation coming out, because these military bases will be attacked with ground launches. A ground burst. A ground burst is going to maximize the fallout, because it's going to pick all that dirt up from the ground burst and disperse the fallout downwind from it. Fortunately, these may not be the ginormous nukes, but when you get so many, you have a lot of fallout coming from these areas. The smaller military bases are going to have small nukes. The fallout pattern won't be as long or as big, but it will be there. The cities, if they target cities, it will be airburst, and it'll be very little fallout. So if you're outside of the initial airburst, it won't be as bad, although there will still be some fallout. What should you do? Well, oh yeah, other than helping to stop get the grid hardened, come down here to my nuclear survival and prepping playlist. Watch these videos, nuclear survival. There's a lot of details in these two videos talking about what the radiation is, how much is deadly, what the threat is. All the details of the nuclear radiation you can find in these two videos. This one is about nuclear bug out safe zones. And here's what you might do in the first and second 24 hours. And here's a video about the instrumentation to tell what your dose rates are and things like that. So check those videos out and come down here and look at the videos on safe bug out zones. That plays into that. This tells you how to grow your food, in addition to how bad our food situation already is. Prepping videos down here, my friends. Check out how to filter and sanitize water by many methods. I'll show you how to do it in plastic bottles. Or look, how do you survive off of winter wilds? It's the winter time when this hits, like now, there's no green stuff growing. But there's green stuff growing. There's a ton of edibles videos in here, guys. So I got a ton of wild edibles videos in here. There's more than that. So check those out. And finally, join our Survival Tribe Network, survivaltribenetwork.com. Let's form up so we got each other's backs. That's what this is all about. Come in here and join this. All righty. Enough said. Stop share. So will this happen? I'm not saying it will happen. What I am saying is he who strikes first wins. And Putin thinks and has said that Russia can fight and win a nuclear war. Whether he's right or not, if he believes that, if his cohorts around him believe that, if his military generals believe that, that can be a problem. Whether it's true or not, all they got to do is believe it's the truth. Perception is everything to some people until they discover the perceptions were off, but then it's usually too late. Guys, so I got friends who says, oh, they can't watch it because they can't even push a button, or their silos are drippy and wet. Yeah, they've had some of that in the past, but they've just outfitted new silos. They've just put the Yars 24 missiles and new silos. They've just put the Zircon out to field at the sea. They've just put the Sarmat 2, Satan 2 missile, Sarmat or Satan 2 missile into operation. We're putting it in operation right now. We've tested it. So, guys, we are in a threat situation like we've never seen before. But Medvedev, and not Medvedev, but you can tell me that these guys says, oh, well, they won't use their missiles unless there's an existential threat against Russia. Problem with that is you got to figure out how you define existential threat and what is to Russia. It's really to the leadership. To Putin, it's to him. Existential threat is meaning that they lose territory they consider to be Russia, like maybe even the areas they already annexed out of Ukraine. They consider that now to be Russian territory, and they are losing it. So they may consider these things. What they really consider is if we were to run into Moscow. But that's actually something that Ukraine is talking about. They says, hey, we got to try these guys for war crimes. So that could lead to Russia deciding to launch. I got friends who will argue against it and say, oh, no, that'll never happen. And throw out all these different reasons. But if the Russians can perceive this to be an existential threat, which don't usually mean to the people, it means to the powers that be, then there is a risk. There is a risk. And why else are they deploying these systems? Why are they both developing robust missile defense, practicing the drills, got the EMP super weapons, and developing such a broad range of brand new missiles and missile systems, hypersonics, systems that you would use in a first strike? Is it just for fun, giggles, bragging rights? God, I hope that's all it is, my friends. But we're in perilous times. Get ready. That's my bottom line. And and getting ready for this means you're ready for many other things that could happen, like the sun taking us out. If you don't believe this is going to happen, at least if you're ready for this, you'll be ready for the sun. Oh, yeah, and the sun's got a big new sunspot coming around. It's been shooting off big X-class flares, and it's about to point right at us. So, oh, yeah, this is Greg Allison with Green Gregs and Galactic Gregs. So, well, that too. But I'm going to put this on Green Gregs, and I think I'll put this on also Swivelhead News. Greg Allison, Swivelhead News, Galactic Gregs. Wow, I got so many channels, I'm getting confused. Green Gregs. So, guys, thank you for watching. And with that, I'm going to say, prepare, get ready, prep and pray. We survive to another day. I bring you this simply because it's a proposition of my channels. If you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive, I believe we can do it, but we got to work it. So get busy, prep, and pray. Start it today if you haven't already done it. Well, I'm saying again, thank you for watching, and Greg out.